Well, despite the fact that President Obama had a democratically controlled Congress for the first 2 years of his term and did nothing to advance immigration reform, he's justifying his executive action this week by blaming Republicans.
I showed extraordinary patience with Congress in trying to work a bipartisan deal.
Had the House of Representatives allowed that kind of bill a simple yes or no vote, it would have passed with support from both parties. And today it would be the law.
A year and a half in which the only thing standing in the way of that bipartisan bill and my desk so that I can sign that bill, the only thing that's been standing in the way is a simple yes or no vote in the House of Representatives.
Alan Colmes is the host of the Alan Colmes Show on Fox News Radio. He could have had it in year one of his presidency, but he did not prioritize it.
He'd prioritize Congress. He's waiting for Congress to do something. Congress could have done something. There are plenty of opportunities for Congress.
His party controlled Congress at the time for 2 years.
Look, I'm not defending the Democrats in Congress. I think Democrats as a party has not always done the right thing either. He waited and waited for Congress to do something. They never did.
He's upset about a year and a half. He controlled Congress for 2 years. He did nothing.
And neither did the Republicans in Congress. You can't just point it on him. And this
I'm not putting it on anybody. I'm just responding to his accusation that it's all Republicans.
Reprieve. This is not even a permanent amnesty like Ronald Reagan did. Ronald Reagan said, we're going to give amnesty to illegal immigrants who left and came back fraudulently.
But he had the support of Congress for his actions.
No, he didn't. This came after the 1986 Congress immigration bill.
No, but that's different.
Went beyond that.
I agree with you that he went beyond what they had agreed to in the law, but that was to implement portions of the law. And it was for
no, it was beyond the law.
No,
went beyond
that's
the law.
The truth. And then Congress passed a bill saying no more of that, President.
But what Reagan did was and came back illegally. We're going to give you amnesty.
Okay, but what I'm telling you is that was to implement a law and stop arguing with the language.
That he did was not in the law.
And it affected far fewer.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many. It's the same principle.
No,
and
scope matters.
George H.W.
You know better than Turley.
It's the same thing.
Scope matters not at all. So he could wave in the entire 11 million illegal immigrants.
That's not what he did. This is no, because what Obama did is a temporary 3-year.
Let's take your hypothetical through to the end. If he can do whatever he wants, can he wave in all 11 million with no problem?
No, because he's not doing it permanently. It's a temporary fix.
So could he do it temporarily for all 11 million?
No, he couldn't. He's not giving them amnesty. He's simply saying
he couldn't do it because at some point the scope does matter, doesn't it, Alan?
He's simply saying that. He could say temporarily, we'll let you stay until Congress does something. He actually
all 11 million? Now you reverse yourself on that.
Yes.
No, he could not, my friend. He could not. You know why? Because scope does matter. At some point, it becomes an abdication of duty.
It's called prosecutorial discretion.
Then why did he say he didn't for 6 years?
Because he was waiting for Congress to act. He wanted the legislative process to take place.
No.
Should the president do everything day one, day two, year one?
That's not true. He was asked repeatedly, including long after Congress had, quote, failed to act. Why don't you just forget Congress? They stink. You do it. Just do it by executive action.
And even
then
finally
he said, no. That you can't do that. That's an unfair and dishonest intellectual argument.
It's not true.
Yes, it is, because he, at that moment, said, I don't have the authority.
No, he didn't have the authority to do it permanently, to give them amnesty.
No, he didn't.
What he's doing a temporary reprieve for only 3 years.
You're misleading this audience.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are, Alan. I have it on tape. I don't have time to show it, but I showed it 2 minutes ago.
Do a bill. Pass a bill. You can change it. Congress can actually step in now and change this. I'm not dodging.
You're dodging about what the president said.
I'm giving you direct answers.
No,
you don't like my answers. I'm telling you exactly. Congress could change this at any time.
Because I don't like my audience misled. This is misleading. That's not true. He was specifically asked, Congress won't do anything. Expand your earlier executive action. You've got the power. And under those circumstances, long after Congress had failed to act, he said, I don't have the authority. That's the truth.
He doesn't have the authority to grant amnesty.
I'm stealing the last word on that because we're out of time.
Fix.
Good to see you. Alan Colmes.
Good to see you.
We'll be right back.